The Emoji Movie is the most progressive movie of 2017. What does that mean? It means it sucked. The movie starts off showing us this big world that the emojis live in, but everybody in it is very mean-spirited towards the main character, Gene, just because he's different, which honestly doesn't actually make any sense because the kid who owns the phone only looks to be like 15 or 14, and I feel like he hasn't had a phone long enough for them to develop this big society, have kids, build prejudices. If that happened, that would have meant that the people who built the phone are the racists who ingrained the data to not like anything different from themselves. So good job, Sony, because it was a Sony phone. As we go deeper in, we see that Gene is a horrible character. He ruins everything. He destroys the phone. Gene is a big mess up, and he has to run away because what they do with mess ups is murder them. Because you murder people who don't fit into society. Whilst running away from his death, he comes in contact with this high five emoji who's basically just the comic relief, which doesn't make much sense because every emoji is a comic relief just showing exactly what they do.
Should we wash our hands?
No. We're number 2.
So the high five emoji takes Gene upstairs to the loser lounge where all the emojis who nobody ever uses go, and for some reason this 15-year-old kid who has a cell phone and is texting girls doesn't use the eggplant emoji. What little kid doesn't use the eggplant emoji? You know he's getting news from that girl, that's all he wants. He's a strong, independent black man. So Gene and the high five guy decide that they need to go and find a jailbreak app or whatever, which turns out to be some really sexy female emoji, and they need to figure out how to get on the cloud so they can escape the oppression they face in the emoji world. This jailbreak character is probably the worst thing about this entire movie. I can't tell you how much she just annoys the crap out of me. Basically, her entire point is just to be a strong, independent woman who doesn't go with the average norms of a regular emoji. And it doesn't actually make sense what she says, because she's talking about how female emojis are oppressed because you can only be a bride or a princess if you're a girl, which we see in the movie isn't actually true. There are female emojis who aren't even female based, they're just emojis. So this whole plot point doesn't even make sense, and I don't know why she's trying to turn the oppression onto her when it's Gene who they're literally trying to kill for being different. On their way to the cloud, they go through different apps, including the Just Dance app, where they have such great pop hits that were relevant a couple years ago, and they have the Just Dance dancer girl, who's probably the sexiest animated character I've seen.
Just dance! We're gonna have to dance our way out!
And the app gets deleted because they're going crazy and messing up this kid during his class, and that ends up trapping the Just Dance girl and High Five in the trash app, which phones don't actually have. Gene and Wild Style from the Lego Movie decide they need to save High Five from the trash bin because the internet trolls who got trapped in there say that the trash bin gets emptied at the end of the day, every day, and they all die. So they rescue High Five and then leave all the rest of them to die, which they literally do, and they actually kill the Just Dance girl, bless her soul. While this is happening, the big bad smiley emoji decides that the robots they sent after him to kill him weren't enough, so she upgrades one into a super robot to go murder him, and he chases them down the hallway, but they eventually make it to the cloud app. And through that, they have to get past a firewall by guessing the password. It's all a big old, stupid, annoying thing that it could have been avoided, but they wanted some comedy relief. So they get past that. Once they get into the cloud app, Gene decides that he actually likes the way he is, and he also likes the jailbreak app, so he goes in there to talk to her and tell her, hey, I like you. You're pretty awesome. And she rejects him. For literally no reason. She's just I need to be on my own and stuff, And it doesn't actually make any sense, but I guess it's just gonna show that she's a strong, independent emoji who doesn't need no man. And that turns Gene back into a meh, and he stops caring about life, which I'm sure we've all done at some point, so it's extremely relatable. Gene gets captured by the robot thing even though it made it very clear that he couldn't get into the Cloud app for some reason. So it doesn't actually make much sense, but he pulls him in, Gene doesn't really care, and Jailbreak, who turned out to be a princess emoji, and started ridiculing them for saying that she had the stereotype of singing and birds will come, I guess. But that doesn't actually make any sense. Why she's upset about that? Because she actually can. That's like saying all black people can use fire out of their hands, but they actually can, but they still get offended when you say, hey, you're black so you can shoot fire out your hands, right? So they fly back on the Twitter icon, I think, to save Gene. They save him, they smush the smile emoji, and then Gene becomes super special and everybody accepts him and has a huge dance party in the VIP lounge. The end. So it turns out that the message behind the Emoji Movie is that Gene is supposed to be representing gay people, and I guess that means that if you're gay, everybody will hate you until they all realize that you being gay means that you're better than them. So with that random amount of gayness that didn't really stand out that much, and the weird feminism they put into this movie seems really outdated. Like they made it a couple years ago and just forgot to release it until now. This was basically Food Fight done wrong. So if I had to give it a rating, I think that the rating that it has on Rotten Tomatoes is generous. I don't think it deserves the 6 or 7% that it's at right now. It's more of like one angry emoji out of 100.